Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Today's video, I'm going to discuss life as a reservist. I get so many questions about being a reservist, specifically because I do not have any active duty service. So I went from being a civilian straight into the United States Navy Reserves. And so I get tons and tons of questions about it. So I just decided to make a video about it. So I'm gonna discuss, why did I choose to join? How old was I? What's my rate? What's the typical drill weekend? I'm gonna make a separate vlog because I have drill coming up soon. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit about what we do. Granted, it's a little bit different now because of the times that we're in, but it's still like a little sneak peek. And just answer some of the questions that I get all the time. So if you are interested in any of that, make sure you stay tuned. So the first thing I wrote is, why did I join? I get this question all the time. Why did I join as a reservist versus active duty? The number one reason why I did reserves at the age 25 was because I had a child. Otherwise, I had all intentions immediately after high school on just going straight into the Navy, but I got cold feet and then life happened. So fast forward to when I turned 25, I was like, you know what? Let me revisit that and put a little bit more thought into it. So basically, the number two question that I get is how. And I totally get why people ask me how did you join as a reservist? Because personally, I didn't know, I knew about the Coast Guard and the National Guard and those type of things, but as a civilian, without being born in that military world, I didn't know that you can join as a reservist as a civilian. I thought you needed that prior service, you do your time, and then you become a reservist. So basically, one day, probably saw a commercial or something, and then I talked to one of my really good friends, and she's a corpsman, and I was just asking her some questions and picking her brain, and then I went and spoke with the recruiter, and then from there the ball got rolling. And it's the same exact process as if you were going to join active duty, except you just sign your contract as a reservist. So do you go to boot camp? Yes, you still have to go to boot camp for the same amount of time. You're not separated at all. You get the same experience. You also still have to go to your A school and C school depending on your rates. And then the only difference is immediately after A school, when everyone goes to their base, you come back home and then you begin your process as a reservist. So speaking on that, so immediately after A school, I came back, and your first thing you do, the following day, is check in with your NOSC, which is kind of like what active duty does. They check in with the quarterdeck with whatever base they got assigned to, but as a reservist, you immediately check into your NOSC. You give them that folder that you took from A school. And then you get all your paperwork signed, and then I think that was a weekend for me. So that following business day, that Monday, I came in and actually signed paperwork, and there was a yeoman that I had to report to, YN to, and then everything was from there. We just signed paperwork. I do have a child, so I had to sign the family paperwork, and I also filled out financial paperwork as far as my direct deposit, because in boot camp everything was going direct deposit, boot camp and A school. So I just filled out that same exact paperwork. Because I was technically separating from active duty, I was given my DD 214. And then basically from there, I'm pretty sure every NOSC, their process is different. But for me, I just was kind of in a holding phase, which was, in my personal opinion, it was probably the most frustrating thing for me, because I was a civilian, and all the Navy jargon that they threw at me and the paperwork, it just completely went in one ear and out the other. I had no idea. So on that note, one of my notes that I wrote down is make sure you get a mentor you know, whether it's someone that you know at the NOSC or friend of a friend, just make sure you talk and like link up with someone, because you're gonna have a lot of questions as a civilian. You just are, because it's just a new world. And so I linked up with someone, and they were in my rate, and that was just perfect for me. It was an officer that was in my rate, and I asked so many questions. And that brings me to my next point. No question is a dumb question. Like, it's just so much when you first get in that it becomes overwhelming. And for me personally, I kind of wanted to just be done with it. And it's not a regular job, so you can't be done with it. But yeah, just ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Another thing I wrote down was always, you know, drill. Do not miss a drill. It's just like work. Our obligations are to drill 1 weekend per month, you know, every year and stuff like that. And then you do 2 weeks a year. Well, if you miss a drill, you need to always make it up. If you don't, you get a bad year. And a bad year that's not good at all. So anytime you need to miss drill for whatever reason, definitely let your chain of command know. Communication is very big in the reserves, because you don't see each other every day like, you know, how you do in the active duty world. You just have that 1 weekend to really make it count. And on that note, I will say, you know, learn a lot and really like show effort, especially if you want to make the Navy a career, which I do. I mean, I joined at 25. So my personal intentions, emphasis on my personal intentions, were to make it a career. I want to retire from the reserves. In my opinion, I didn't like join so late to just do like 4 or 6 years and then get out. So I do want to make a career out of it. So I try to like volunteer for things. I mean, it's kind of difficult right now because of the things that we're in, but I know once this clears up, I really want to like volunteer for things. You know, if you get, you know, Sailor of the Quarter, Sailor of the Year, like get big things like that. Eventually I do want to mob. That kind of got put on pause because of everything that was going on, but I do definitely want to sign up for some type of deployment. So just volunteer, ask questions, you know, get your name out there. Basically just, you know, really make an effort the same way you would in any type of, you know, civilian career. Always put your best foot forward and just, you know, just try your best, you know? Okay, so as I stated before in previous videos, I even have a video out. You should watch it after this one if you want. My job is an MA, so that's Master at Arms, which is a police officer, security forces. So that is what I went to school for immediately after boot camp. And, you know, every weekend a month, that is the rate that that's my profession in the Navy. So basically it's the same thing that you would do as an active duty personnel, but you just do it 1 weekend a month. And as a reservist, because we only meet 1 weekend a month, every weekend is not dedicated to, you know, security force detail. A lot of it is paperwork. The best way I try to explain to people is, as a reservist, like, our job is to be mission ready, in my opinion. So it's just a lot of paperwork. And that brings me back to the NOSC. Check with the NOSC every drill weekend. Like, just make sure, you know, go on NSEPs and make sure you're good. Check with medical and make sure you're like all checked off there. You never want to be on like the dink list. That's like if anything is like pending for you. Like, prime example, 2 months ago, I was on the list of people that needed a flu shot. So when drill came up again, I went in and went to medical and got my flu shot. So you just always want to make sure that you're mission ready, anything that may entail. So just always just ask questions and check with your command. Go on Navy e-learning, make sure all of your courses are done and that sort of stuff. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to speak on very briefly, because I'm still learning and eventually I'll be going through this process myself, hopefully, is a couple things. So there's RC to RC, RC to AC, and then there's RC to FTS. There's RC to RC, which is like you changing rates. So that's like me going from being an MA to a CS or an MA to a YM. Then there's RC to AC, which is going from that reserve component to that active component. So you're going from reserve duty to active duty. And then finally, there is RC to FTS, which is reservist to full-time support. In my personal opinion, and you can just look this up, but the best way to explain it is full-time support is that in between from a reservist and an active duty personnel. You are full-time, and there are, that I've also learned that there are only specific rates for FTS. And from what I've also kind of researched and asked a couple questions about, FTS is usually on that typical civilian schedule, which is Monday through Friday. And I know they also rotate. I think they do some type of shore duty to sea duty. But you should, ask your recruiter more details about that. I'm just giving you more options and things that I'm learning as I go throughout my military process and career. So there are those options as well as a reservist. So another big thing, just as it is in the active duty world, would be evals and taking your advancement. I do take my advancement exam this coming drill weekend, so I will be testing for E5. It got put off. Well, it didn't get put off, but I was supposed to take it last drill cycle, but I was missing an eval, which brings me to my next point. Always check with the NOSC, which is what I said before. Just always make sure everything is like you're not missing anything. All of your evals, this is another thing that I've learned, there should not be any gaps between your evals. So if one is from January 1st to March 1st, the next one should pick right back up March 1st to June, And I'm just making up those dates as an example. But the point is, your eval should not have any gaps in them. Make sure you take your PMKs, which are now online. Make sure your security clearance is always good. Okay, so another thing that I would really suggest you invest in, and I use air quotes because it's real cheap, but just go to the NOSC and get one of these CAT card readers. This will be really handy for your drill weekends, especially because of, the times that we're living in, and also in between drill weekends. Like, there's been plenty of times where I had to submit documentation and, sign this and scan it back in, or go online and e-sign something with my CAT card. I just use this and keep it moving, and it just avoids me having to go to the NOSC, which I low-key hate. But yeah, it avoids me having to go to the NOSC to do anything, or I just get it done quicker. And I don't like putting stuff off. I'm not a procrastinator. I like to just be like on it with things. So yeah, invest in one of these. So as far as tips, I would say the same thing I said in my last video. Make a copy of a copy. Like, always make copies of things. And it's just a good habit to practice in the civilian world and in the military world. Just have a copy of everything. I do know when we were in boot camp, our petty officers would always tell us to get an I Love Me binder, which I have. Let me show y'all. Okay, so this is my I Love Me binder. I've had it since I graduated boot camp, and it's, as you can see, like, it's busting from the seams. Like, I need to invest in a file cabinet, which is on my to-do list. But yeah, it's just really important. Like, I have everything sectioned out with the tabs, with my orders. I'm out of breath because I ran up the steps. But anyway, yeah, so I have my training certificates in here. I have a tab specifically for the command that I'm with now. I also have a tab that has my DD-214. I have a tab specifically for the NOSC. Like, anytime I do anything in the NOSC, I just put everything in there. I have a tab for all of my medical stuff because I am insured through TRICARE, which I will speak about right after this. I have a tab for TSP, which is that thrift savings plan or something like that. Any finance, like, all of my stuff is direct deposit through the military. We do get paid for our 1 week in a month, obviously. So all of my like stuff is in here, like pay stubs and stuff like that. And then my last, and then I have a tab with all my Navy evals, which are a lot because I just joined. I have my advancement stuff that I need, and then I have a tab with my stuff from MAA school to include my OC cert that I will never ever lose. And then the final tab is for boot camp, which isn't a lot because we didn't have a lot of stuff in boot camp. It's just like my ASVAB score and stuff. But yeah, so definitely invest in some type of I Love Me binder or folder or something to keep all of your documents together, because especially from the NOSC, you're gonna get a lot of paperwork. So you need to make sure you save that paperwork, make a copy, and save it somewhere that you know you'll be able to keep up with it. I already mentioned getting a mentor, and then my next bullet point was just to volunteer. And then I also wrote here, show interest in some type of like collateral duty, whether that be just kind of similar to like in boot camp where there was the laundry PO and the mail PO. It's not the same exact thing, but show interest and that you want to be the supply, LPO, or you want to be in charge of like the birthing, because some reservists, they do need birthing, which is like housing, because they don't live close by. You just basically volunteer for some type of collateral duty. So just always ask about that. I also made a note to basically stay mission ready, which is very important, as I stated before, because in my opinion, reservists need to always be mission ready because you never know when you're going to get called to duty. So just keeping your uniform squared away. We only wear it once a month, so they should always be tidy and crisp. Getting your boots clean. I'm getting ready to go get my boots clean right after I'm done with this video. I'm gonna get them shined. I'm lazy, I know. Making sure your go bag, if your rate requires you to have a go bag, mine does, make sure that it's always ready. Like, I have an extra uniform, my police belt is in there, like stuff like that. Whatever you need to have, make sure you have it. Also, do your research. And when I say do your research, don't just talk to a recruiter. Also go online and do your own research and speak with other people and just get different opinions and figure out what's best for you. Active duty may be good for you, reserve may be good for you, or FTS might be good for you. Another helpful tip as a Navy reservist is to always log into the required Navy website. So we have INSEPS, we have our email, we have our Navy eLearn, and there's a bunch of websites, but the same way like with any other password in like the civilian world, things expire, and being as though we only work 1 week in a month, if you let a drill weekend go and you don't log on to those websites, your password becomes inactive. So always make sure you're checking your email. Always check your email. Even when you're not on a reserve weekend, this is just my opinion. Check your email. And make sure you log into those required websites. And then the final tip that I wrote basically is to have a good year. I spoke about it before, but again, if you ever have to miss a drill weekend for whatever reason, like I think I had to reschedule one of my drill weekends, just make sure you speak with your proper chain of command. You go into the website and actually put in your drill reschedule, and you just want to make sure you have a good year. And really those were all the tips that I wrote down. If I missed anything, or if you guys have any other questions, just let me know or leave them in the comment box below. I'll answer it. But yeah, that was pretty much all. I wanted to make a really short video because, as I stated, I'm getting ready to go run some errands. I gotta go get my boots shined and then like some other like personal errands. But my next video, because I know I have drill coming up, and I don't know how interesting it's gonna be because I'm taking my advancement exam. So obviously I can't like film or vlog that. But hopefully we do something on Sunday. So we'll see. I have all intentions on like making a video for this drill weekend. Like I told myself, I put pressure on myself to make this video I'm doing now, and then to do another video this weekend for drill weekend. And I'm gonna do more like drill weekends. Like anytime we do anything interactive, I wanna film it because these are the videos that I was looking for when I wanted to join, and I didn't find any for real. So I want to provide that content in addition to other stuff too, because I'm not just a reservist. Like, I do other things. So I do want to provide lifestyle content and, you know, mom's content, like parental stuff like that. So yeah. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at my next video. Bye.